Okay, so everybody else is doing this, so I'm going to do it too. Seeing as I'm a big Superman fan, I think it's necessary that I do this. So I went and saw Superman, and then I went and saw it 4 or 5 days later, 6 days later, a second time. And I liked it even better than the first time. So these are all my thoughts about it. Great movie. James Gunn, you did us proud. I am very, very proud of you because it was well done, buddy. Like, super job, man. So here's why I liked it. Now, I had to get my mind around the fact, because I'm old, that wasn't the world that Christopher Reeve was Superman in. Because essentially that was our world with a Superman in it. And it was masterful. You're not going to get better than Christopher Reeve or that world Richard Donner created. It was amazing. This is the masterpiece of a guy who loves the comic books world and the folklore of Superman in that way. And once I wrapped my head around that, I was like, this guy has created the Superman for the next generation. Now, nothing wrong with Henry Cavill. It wasn't his fault. I think Zack Snyder is an amazing visual artist, but I think he's kind of a depressed guy. I think he's got kind of a negative worldview, and that's why Superman was dark and gritty and frankly depressed. But it wasn't Henry Cavill's fault. It was the writing and the direction. Great Superman. I enjoyed the movie to a point. Left the movie feeling dull and actually a little sad. Not Henry Cavill's fault. If Henry Cavill had had James Gunn, it would have been tremendous. But that's not what we're here about. We're here about this new Superman. David Corenswet is the man. He has been masterfully chosen by James Gunn. He's got the right heart. I think that what you see is what you get. That's David. I think he's done a great job. Rachel Brosnahan is an amazing Lois Lane. Nicholas Hoult is an amazing, tremendous villain, Lex Luthor. I think that David Corenswet is right up there with Chris Evans and Tom Holland, who those movies, Captain America, the First Avenger, set the tone for that character. That is who Cap is because of his heart. Well, this is who Superman is because of his heart. And what Captain America, the First Avenger, Spider-Man Homecoming, and this new Superman movie have done is those characters are done right. And they have set the tone now for the way Superman. And, you'll never get another guy like Chris Evans. That Captain America series was amazing because it's about your heart. And that's why this Superman is so great. That's why the Clark Kent's so great. Ma and Pa Kent were brilliant. Of course, Krypto stole the show. Lois Lane, kick butt, heroine. What an amazing Lois Lane. And, man, I love Mr. Terrific, too. Well, I'll tell you one thing I really liked about Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor is that the trend in the last 15, 20 years was to try and make the villains, they're actually not that bad because, they had hard stuff happen to them. And, I like backstory, but this is the way Lex Luthor should be. He is a megalomaniac. Everything he did was out of envy. He just can't stand it that Superman has been the center of the world's attention. And because he's a megalomaniac, he's nuts. And just like Gene Hackman's Luthor, who wanted California to become fall into the sea, and he'd buy all that desert, and it would be his West Coast. Well, that's the same kind. That's the megalomaniac we're dealing with. Lex Luthor is friggin' nuts, and Superman, he's who he should be to fight this kind of guy. And Superman, what I love about him is he's not bitter against Luthor for everything he did. He's just, I really wish that you'd understand how amazing you could be too. And think about it, how amazing Lex Luthor could be with that intellect. If he didn't live his life with jealousy and envy and being power hungry, right? Another thing I love about this movie, not only the visual effects, but, Superman is like Christopher Reeve in that, Christopher Reeve would save a cat. Well, you see Superman doing the same kind of thing. Don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. But another great thing about this movie that Man of Steel didn't have, Man of Steel had cool music. Hans Zimmer did a good job. I like the This Is Clark Kent theme. The battle music, even though it was a little too intense for me in the sense of kind of chaotic. I like the battle scenes in Man of Steel, but I love the music in this movie. John Murphy and David, what's the guy's name? Fleming, David Fleming, the new guy. Amazing music, boys. Good job. The soundtrack soared along with Superman. That's the way it should be. Music makes a movie. And it is so well done, the music. So, you know, great movie. And I plan on seeing it a third time, because when a Superman movie's this good, you support it. And I love how the positivity about this movie is spreading throughout the galaxy, because that's the way it should be when a good movie comes out like this one. And I would say that this movie it's great to see how it's making now, close to $500 million now, because it means there's going to be more of this. And good job, James Gunn. Proud of you. Super.